Oh, amazing question. Yeah. So if you talk about the revolution, I guess this sector have scaled up exponentially. Like if you talk about the new things coming in this. So yesterday we had a talk with a guy in US whose name is Michael Bretty. He is a guy who is building ion propulsion systems. Like you might have seen the chemical propulsion system, which use two chemicals like oxidizer and main fuel. They burn and then rockets get lift off. He's using electrons, ions. He ejects ions in space and it pushes the spacecraft in a particular direction, and it is very much efficient engine. A lot of companies are already working. Now, companies, they have fundings, they have machines, they have team, they have everything with them. This guy alone is building those engines in his garage. He built his own vacuum testing chamber, and he is he already have built those engines for the small satellites. So one of the advancement you can see is in the interspace travel. Now, ion propulsion system is going to replace all the chemical engines in space. The benefits are like you don't need to turn on your engine for a longer period of time. They are lighter in weight. First thing, they use less power compared to that, less fuel. Second thing, you don't need to turn engine for few seconds or minutes. Like it burns for just milliseconds or microseconds. You need to turn it off, and then again it will keep on moving. So it is very it is complicated right now, but a lot of evolution have been seen in this propulsion system. Second one is one of my favorites, that is 3D printing in space. Like if you want to go on Mars, if you want to send humans to Mars and sustain life there, you cannot send all the machines there. You cannot send all the screwdrivers and tools there. And you cannot send a tent there and stay there. You need to have a 3D printer there. Just send a 3D printer. Using Martian soil, you can 3D print the whole dome. You can 3D print the tools as well, which you can use there. So that is one of my favorite companies which is doing right. I don't remember the name of that company, but that company is working very much, very hard in this domain. And the second, another one is the 3D printing the rockets. Now, till date, the rocket engines were very much complicated. You might have seen the picture of those bigger engines which have a lot of pipings, tanks, pressure fed systems, and everything, coolant pipes and all. But now, and that was because each part was manufactured, they were attached with hands, and then they were tested, and then that is how the engine was assembled. And it took a lot of time. Now the engines are getting 3D printed. So if the previous engine design had 10,000 plus parts, now the engine will have only a few hundreds of parts. So complexity reduces, chances of failure reduces, the cost reduces, and you don't need to put much human resources to assemble thing. You need very few people to do that. Your engines, the design can get standardized easily, and complexity is again less, so you can easily assemble those engines to the rockets. So and you can manufacture a lot of engines within a month. So this 3D printing technology has brought a lot of evolution in this domain, and I guess a lot of companies are doing that. Like a lot of companies are already using 3D printing technology to 3D print their rocket engines. Like at Star also, we are getting a lot of things 3D printed. Our rockets, 60 to 70% of the rocket parts are 3D printed. So we are also using that technology at Star. So these are the few of the evolutions. And again, if we talk about the launch vehicle market, the small satellite launchers are going to serve this industry at a very big scale, because you might have seen the size of the satellite. They used to be as big as car, but now students, like tons of colleges, are building the small satellites which the size of the satellite is this much small. Like those are called pocket cubes. You can put your satellite into pocket as well. Now to launch those small satellites, you cannot wait for the bigger rockets to carry already a big satellite and to carry a small sat with them. Like you cannot borrow a ride for them. It will take a lot of time and a lot of money as well. So dedicated launchers are being prepared for that, and they're launching small satellites using those small launchers. So these are the evolutions which are going to be there. But let me tell you, this 3D printing for Mars is going to be the biggest one. If you talk about Star, we have a lot of open space and we take care of safety. Like launching it from anywhere is not a good idea, but yeah, you need to take care of all the safety protocols. You need to define safety protocols for the same. Like what we do is like we put our launch. We have a full document where we have mentioned all the safety protocols while assembling the rocket, while putting the igniter into the rocket engine. Uh, then what we do is uh, just few minutes before the launch, we gather in a group, like team gets gathered in a group near the launch site. We perform national anthem, we sing national anthem, then we have a war cry. We do a very loud war cry that the people in this area should come to know something is going to happen, and they can get that idea that we need to stay away from this place. So that is what we generally do, and then we perform a countdown, and then we launch them. But we take care of all the safety, like we when don't launch our rockets nearby the residential areas. We go to a remote location, and we also take care of that there are no animals there, there are no farmers who are there nearby, and yeah, these are the things we need to take care of. About permissions, there are no criteria defined, but still you need to talk to the local police and the airport authority. After BTech, how can I enter aerospace? Like, see, I did my bachelor's into electronics. Like, for example, if you talk about aerospace industry, if you talk about ISRO, I guess most of the employees are from the electronic background. So there are a lot of scope for electronics because you need to build launch control systems, you need to make flight computers, the electronics for the test beds, the avionics for the communication and navigation, and even about the satellite systems. You need to work on electrical power systems. We can work on the sensors, payloads, the onboard computers, data management, and a lot of things. So there are a lot of opportunities for you, and you need to explore all of them at this particular moment, and you can figure out in which domain you would like to go. Find out few companies are already working in this domain. You can do your internship there, and then you can get expertise and learn things, and then you can apply for any other company to get job. But this is very much important possible in the industries, and especially into startups. In big industry, when you go, you are a part of process, and you have been given a particular role, and that only thing you need to do. But when you work for a startup, your ideas are welcomed, your ideas are respected, and you get to implement your ideas in those startups, and you learn things, and you are also a decision makers if the startup allows you to do. Like at Star we allow. So try to do as many internships as possible, and then this is how you can enter any industry. Yeah, it is starlabsurat.com, but we are not keeping our websites updated because website is something which is we want to work on, but we don't have a IT team here right now who have a good experience of building a good website, and we always divert our audience to our social media platforms which are very much active, and we have a good presence on all social media platforms. I won't suggest any name. I won't take any name of the universities. I know few of them, but still I would say take the name. But what I suggest is while selecting the university, don't go for the rank of this university. Just see one thing: how many clubs do they have, and how active their clubs are. Like there is a club in SRM University which represents India and the Mars Rover Challenge in US and other countries. So what you can do is ultimately you want to improve your skill, and that can be done when you get associated with any club and you work on the actual project. So just search about the clubs which are active there, and if you can resonate with them, you can be a part of the university. And even if the university is ranking very low, but if their clubs are active, I recommend you to join them.